Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending October 19th, 2022. Before I get into the numbers, let me tell you about an unfortunate situation which we could be seeing more and more of in the coming months. I received a call from a young couple telling me that they're looking to sell their home and they're looking for my help in talking to them about the whole selling process and what their home would sell for. So we set up an appointment, and before my appointment, I do my own research. I look at the history of the home, I look at the area, what's happening with price trends in their neighborhood. Well, I could see that they purchased this home January this year. So we're in October. It hasn't even been a whole year that they've owned this home. They bought at the peak, and now in October, they're looking to sell. I go to the appointment, I meet them for the first time. Nice young family. We sit down, we go through the whole process. I get to the price, and when I explain this is probably what your home would sell for, most likely, they agreed, but said, yeah, it kind of makes sense, the price that you're saying, but we just can't sell it for that price. I said, well, it's really not about, what you want or I want or the buy. It's like, this is what prices are in your neighborhood right now. They said, no, we understand that. It's just, if we sold for that price, we're barely going to cover our first mortgage, and we have a second private mortgage on the house. This situation that they're in is basically a negative equity situation, meaning what their house is worth, they actually owe more than the value of their home. So if we sold their home for that price, they couldn't even close because they can't cover the mortgages or the loans that are on the home. They'd have to come up with money from somewhere else or have other options in play there to be able to do this. This situation of negative equity, we're going to see more and more of these. Prices were here, now they're here. Payments to cover the loans on a home were here, now they're here. They've gone the opposite way. So you're losing equity on your home, plus the cost to carry whatever loans you have on your home has gone up. This is the situation these people find themselves in. So I spent the remainder of the meeting really diving deep into what all the possible scenarios or what the possible options could be to really mitigate or have the least amount of negative effect on that family. And so we went through a bunch of options, and they're looking at things now to figure out which route they want to go. But this is an unfortunate sign of the times, which I believe we're going to see more of. If you feel this video can help somebody please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about real estate, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time, and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. Here's just a quick summary of average sold price for Mississauga, Brampton, and Durham region. We're going to start off with Mississauga. These are the numbers for detached properties only and broken down by week for a whole year. Last week ending October 19th, 31 detached properties were sold in Mississauga. One of those was at $2 million or more. If we just take a second here to look at the fall here from September to where we are now, October 19th, we compare sales going back to the summer. It doesn't seem like the fall has actually had any kind of increase in activity. It either looks the same or actually there's a bit less sales now in the fall versus the summer, which is unusual. We do expect more sales in the fall. It's not happening in Mississauga. Average sold price came down a little bit. It's now at $1,364,000. Came down a little bit from the previous week. If we look way back, where we used to be compared to where we are now. Huge difference in price. 1,364,000 is 10% lower than last year's average sold price. When we look at the median price is 1,301,000. It's 8% lower than last year's median price. The dotted line is a 4-week moving average. And when you kind of look at the 4-week moving average to get a better understanding of trend, we can see if we look at the median price, it has kind of over the last 8 weeks or so trended down, but just a little bit, not by much. The average sold price, there's been more movement, but still trending down, but not by that much. It is moving down more so than the median price has been moving down. So trending down, not by a lot. When we look at sales, of the 31 that sold, 23% sold at list price or more. It's not that many. Last year at this time when we were going up, well, 85% were selling at list price or more. It's a whole different world this year versus the same time last year. Year-to-date sales, we have 38% fewer sales this year versus last year, year-to-date up to October 19th. And listings, we have 6% fewer listings. Again, this is just for detached properties and only for Mississauga. Looking at months of inventory, we have 3 months of inventory, so it's up a little bit more so than what it's been over the last few weeks, but sitting at 3 months of inventory, getting closer to what technically we would call a balanced market, but it pretty much feels like a balanced market out there already right now. Let's look at Brampton. 47 detached properties were sold. No properties were sold at $2 million or more. Way back in the day, in the peak, we were selling in the very low 20s, at 20 properties at $2 million or more. Right now, although over the few months we've been averaging 1 or 2, right now, today, no properties sold at $2 million or more, which you'd figure the average sold price would come down because we're not selling the luxury properties, but average sold price went up a little bit. It's now sitting at $1,203,000. $1,203,000 is 7% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price, basically the same, $1,202,000 is the median price. It is 4% lower than last year's median price. And if you look at the 4-week moving average, whether it's for average price or median price, not a lot of up and down movement over the last, say, 8 weeks. Year-to-date sales, Brampton's taken a huge hit in sales. We have 45% fewer sales this year versus last year, year-to-date. And listings, we have 12% fewer listings this year versus last year. Months of inventory did go up a little bit. It's now sitting at 2.1 months of inventory. Average days on market for this week is 16. We have been, though, 2021 over the last few days. Here's Durham region. Now for Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 44 detached properties were sold. One of those was at $2 million or more. Average sold price compared to the previous week did go up. It's now sitting at $1,129,000, which is 10% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price is 8% lower. Median price is sitting at $1,118,000. Looking at the 4-week moving average, both for average sold price and for median, it has been trending down over the last 8 weeks, not by a lot. Year-to-date sales, 32% fewer sales this year versus last year, so a third less sales. And listings, only 2% fewer listings this year versus last year. Months of inventory is pretty consistent. You know, we're sitting at 1.2. It was 1.2 the previous week, 1.1, 1.3, 1.1, 1.2. It's pretty consistent in the Durham region, and that's for sure what's helping prices to kind of flatten out and stay where they are. Let's look at condos. This is for all of Peel region. 36 condos were sold. None of those sold at at $1 million or more. There were no what we'll call luxury condos being sold. So 36 were sold. Average sold price came down quite a bit from the previous week. It's now sitting at $608,000. $608,000 is 3% higher than last year's average sold price. The condo market is one of the few markets we could actually say prices are still a little bit higher than what they were last year at this time. Median price is also 3% higher. The median price is $579,000. And when you look at the 4-week moving average, it's either the same or could be sloping upwards slightly. Year-to-date sales, we have 35% fewer condo sales this year versus last year. And basically, listings are practically the same. It's 0.2% fewer listings year-to-date. Months of inventory for condos is sitting at 3.1. Very much over the last few weeks, we have been in a balanced market, and it's going to very much feel like it's a balanced market in the condo space right now. Quick summary of months of inventory. Months of inventory, basically, except for Ajax, Pickering, and Whitby, months of inventory has gone up. The market in general feels like it's a balanced market. Although prices in the Durham region have come down, they've leveled off. There's a lot of situations where there's multiple offers, a lot of situations where prices are being listed, and there's an offer date. Some people are getting a bit more. Some people are not selling on offer dates. So you really got to look at the situation and get the price right if you're listing. And if you're looking to buy, look, just because there's an offer date doesn't mean the seller's going to get more money. We're seeing more and more properties on offer night either not selling or selling for a little bit less than what they're actually listed at. Hope you got some information here. Have an awesome day.